Welcome. I basically just released a video before this explaining that I'm here to try to help younger people who I feel that YouTube has let down pretty badly by the fact that they allow so many people to claim that they're a witch or practicing witchcraft. And maybe in their own minds they are. But what they're really communicating is, to me, something completely different. I believe some have got problems caused by mental illness. I really do believe that. And I believe that some are just attention seeking because they don't want to get a real job. They don't want to live in the real world. And getting people to like and subscribe and then to payroll them, to me, seems like a nice way to live a life of ease. Doesn't mean it's an honest way of life. It doesn't mean what they've got to say is credible. But for those of you that are really wanting to move into a spiritual connection, to find that connection where it is, and to learn to follow the path that many people call witches, warlocks or wizards, whatever you want to call it, do follow, and some do it very successfully, and some have had some amazing experience. So, my first video was about being able to protect yourself, because the moment you start to step out, and you don't necessarily have to be doing witchcraft or anything of that nature, the time to step out is maybe when you want to leave a partner, or you've left school, college and university, and it's time to step into a new future. So work, things like that, all things that require a dedication to making sure that you protect yourself. Now, we can all be very vulnerable, especially if you're a pretty looking woman or a young male in his prime, all pristine and been to the gym to prove that he is the look of the day. Those things are great. I've got no problem with them. If that's what you want to do, and that's how you do it, if I'm probably honest, I think every person on this earth has at some stage done that. But the thing is we can make ourselves vulnerable. And we can go to every karate lesson, boxing lesson, self-defense lesson, watch the videos, and we will not be any less vulnerable, because we all become the prey. Now, a lot of people get involved in religious. They want somebody who will pray for them, P-R-A-Y. If we're not careful, there will be people that will pray not for them, but on them, P-R-E-Y. And unless it's spelt, unless it's in some sort of context, it's difficult to discern. When somebody says pray, let us pray, our minds think of prayer, not of going out to find the vulnerable, the weak, and to convert them or molest them or do whatever. So self-defense, understanding that the word abracadabra, as I speak, I manifest. Words play an important part of everything that is to do with the magical world that does exist. and can be magical, can be happy, can be charming, it can be rewarding. But similarly, on the next step below that, it can be dangerous, hounding. It can change your personality, send you schizophrenic. It can seriously damage you. I don't think people ever want to be damaged. But when people say, I want to pray for you, or let me put my hand on you and let me pray, that is a danger sign. Pray or prayer. Prayer or predator. The word pray is pronounced exactly the same, but just one letter in the abracadabra alphabet can change its meaning. Self-defense is a very important part, and when you're starting off and you're vulnerable, it will be the number one priority. Is if you're not sure, leave it alone. If you think that the woman who screams and shouts and can't stop to take a breath is really working under the guidance of a spiritual truth, well, that's your choice. For me, if you're not being spoken to politely, correctly, and if that person is not making sense, but offering you things that just seem so fantastic, it's probably because they are too fantastic to be real. To start any practice spiritually, we need to be called. And I'm going to quote from a Bible, not because I'm Bible orientated, because what it says is true. Flesh gives birth to flesh. Spirit gives birth to spirit. You can't become spiritual by a dress code, by a speech pattern, and by performing at an altar, bending a knee at an altar. That just doesn't work. Flesh gives birth to flesh. Spirit gives birth to spirit, and you cannot force spirit. It comes because you were chosen. It chose you for whatever reason. It might have chosen you because you were desperate to know the truth. And that desperate part of your call was heard. But we cannot purchase spirituality. It's a gift. So it cannot be purchased. It cannot be earned. And because it's a gift, it's not even heretical. My parents were not all that interested in the things that I've spent a lifetime pursuing. And when I realised that they weren't spiritual, they were good, honest, working people. They paid the bills. They made sure I went to school, although they weren't particularly too bothered how well dressed I went to school. All the basics of parenthood were completely honoured by them. Now, this is why I'm making the point, because I know that a lot of you, or some of you, have got completely different testimonies to the situation and why they're in the situation they're in now. If you're in a situation now where you feel that you're trapped through marriage, circumstance, lack of money, then wanting a way out, believing that by magic you'll be able to escape, may well be a prompt, because my last video was about learning to follow the prompts, and it's our circumstances that the prompts start to speak into and about. Now, at the time of this video, I'm 71 years old. I think I first realised at the age of around 5 or 6 that why doesn't mum or dad or my brother or sister or people at school or teachers, anybody else, seem to be able to answer simple questions? And they're spiritual questions that I shouldn't have been asking at that age. Now, the prompting will be in line with your situation. Sometimes a prompt can start to sound too good to be true. A prompt is just something that keeps going on and on in your mind. You'll see items, like I've said, it's a bookshop, at a grocery store, anywhere, the thoughts will start to bring you consistently to the same thoughts. And once we accept that maybe this is a prompt, maybe this is something I should do, maybe I should light a candle and ask a deity, are you there? Is there anybody there? Of course, how you go about it, the seeking, I think isn't as important as one factor in the seeking. Not knowing. Deities know that you don't know. If you did, they probably wouldn't need to bother with you at all. You'd be like they were. So it's not knowing. It's not the problem. It's ignoring the problem. That not knowing doesn't have to stay with us being ignorant. Spirituality in many people's minds cannot be proved. It's mumbo jumbo. And yet, one of the greatest themes from those in Marvel films to the old storybook, The Lion, Witch and the Wardrobe, witchcraft, sorcery, magic, you name it. It's always had a place in human history and culture, even modern culture. So there's something more to be had. Now, if you're being prompted, try to work out what you're being prompted to. One of the prompts that I thought I was getting wasn't a prompt, it was a mental image I had. And that was that spirituality belonged to religion. And that witchcraft wasn't a religion. It was the following of some sort of demonic force that would totally turn you insane, ruin your life, and turn every woman into a prostitute who cannot resist men, and every man into a warlock or a wizard who every woman could not resist them. Now, if that was the case, I wouldn't have all those masks on my wall. I would have beautiful ladies floating around the back of the room, smiling, sexually dressed as beautiful harlots. And that doesn't happen. And if it did, I'd probably get up and leave because I couldn't be bothered anymore. But the point is we have to discern where the myth is in both the mystical side of mythology and the myth about it lies in the deception that stops us moving forward. So this is about following prompts. And so I'm going to ask you now to bear in mind it is a real deity that will be trying to contact you, that we need to protect ourselves from people and spirits. So we learn to have a mantra. Now, I'm not going to give you a mantra. I'm going to ask you to go online and look for protection mantras. Now, the Hindus have had the lead on this for centuries, from the beginning of time. They have lots of protections. They use the goddess Kali. Now, we have Lilith. For me, is my biggest source. Jesus of the Bible was spiritual. I don't believe that the New Testament version of Jesus is totally correct. But I do know that I have in the past had a great source of help from Jesus. But Jesus, a deity, not the Jesus of the New Testament. Similar things. He came to teach, he came to heal, he came to say words of sayings as the kingdom of heaven is within, unless a man be born again. Now, this being born again of a Christian means that you become Jesus' Spirit is inside you, that it's a gift, and that you cannot buy that gift, cannot be purchased. It's not even a birthright, because both your parents were Christians or Jewish converts or whatever converts. It is something that can come only by Spirit, gifting to you Spirit. And that spiritual awakening will not change your life in the blink of an eyelid. What it will do in that blink of an eyelid is let you know that your life can be changed. And that sometimes we have to fight. We have to fight because that's the way of this world. That is the flesh and blood of this world. Most other animal species are either prey or prayer. So they're either going to eat you or you'll be eaten. In some cases, you could be both. Spirituality is not about the doing. It's about receiving. Flesh gives birth to flesh. Spirit gives birth to spirit. So, how do you know? How do I know that I've been changed? That something spiritually has happened in my life? And that's where the prompts start to really pay off. because that Spirit speaking to you. It's leading you, not because you're going to have to purchase the gift, but you do accept it. We're given the choice to accept, and all the prompts will be leading you to accept. I have one warning, that in this you avoid churches, mosques, and any other such, because why? Everybody calls spiritual or witchcraft as some sort of monstrous thing. Many churches have got people within them that become leaders, not because they're chosen by God. It's because they see the value of being able to talk the talk without having to walk the walk, because they can always throw the emphasis back on you. Spirituality is about growth. Once you accept you're on the way to wanting to perform as a witch or a wizard or whatever your aspirations are. But you cannot force it. You can fake it. You cannot force it. You can dress the part, but you won't have the authority. And so I'm asking you now to think very carefully. Have you been prompted? And if you have, just do one thing and one thing only. That is to start to accept. Now, I know at the moment I've been quiet all day, and as I've got to the end of this video, somebody has started revving up a motorbike outside the back of the house, so it can actually be heard. I don't know if it can be heard on the video yet till I replay it. But that's my prompt. That if I say too much now, like the noise in the background, it'll lose its authority. So what do? I want to become a witchcraft. I start to not spend all my money buying millions of candles, ornaments, setting up a new altar. Just simply, if you've got a little tea light, or if you haven't got a little tea light, you can sit in silence and reach out and ask, who is it that is calling to me? Make sure you find out you have a name. And maybe through those prompts, the name of Lilith, or Hecate, or even Jesus may come to you. But beware that Jesus of the Bible, to me, isn't the Jesus of Nazareth that I have worked with, followed, and had many blessings from, as well as the other deities. So it's up to you now. You either believe me. I'm not here for money. I'm not here to do anything but to help you. And the first thing that you must learn to do is to seek protection. So before you actually call out to the deity, have a look online. Like I say, the Hindus have got a real good system of mantras about sending evil back, about refusing evil to enter, about banishing evil. And most mantras that work successfully take about an hour. So it's a commitment to an hour of stillness, quietness, and learning the mantra. Many mantras on YouTube will have the words on screen. You can participate in that mantra, which I recommend, or if that's going to cause you a problem, just listen to it. headphones, if you really have them, and that you can use them in that way. But find a mantra, a protection mantra. Kylie of the Hindus is fantastic at these, and so are some of the other Hindu deities. I don't particularly know too much about the Indian deities. I only know the basics. My own experience is experience of the reality of a spiritual walk. So on that, I'll wish you the best. Please go seek a protection chant as you start to look, because you have to protect yourself. The protection of the chants will be against those that maybe are trying to harm you now. And if you want to know more and want to progress, watch the first video. This is the second of a group of videos that I will be doing on protection and connection with the deities. So the first thing is to find some way to find a chant that you can use that will automatically give you some sort of protection. And secondly, start to ask internally who it is. Who are you? And then look for the prompts. All the best with that. This was just me. And by the way, those masks at the back, I make them. I create quite a lot of them. All different types. All different genres. But that's me. I also do the painting, so the painting above of the Pharaoh and the Buddha, some of my work. So I keep myself busy. I keep myself invested in protecting myself as well. So have a great evening, day, night, whatever time it is. But remember, the first thing of all is to go and look for. On YouTube, they're there, and they're just as good. It's the information that you want on what to say and how to say it. Learn your mantra and come back, and we'll start to talk about deeper, darker, more mysterious things. The X-Files. Well, not really, but we'll talk some more. Have a great day, and thank you. Thank you for listening. If you watched it all the way to the end, a special thank you, because knowing that you did would give me great pleasure. So there's a like and subscribe button there, and this comments. Just let me know that you're out there and that you're interested, and I will be more than happy to read them, and if possible, get your answer into the next videos that come. Have a great day. Bye now.